Yo, what is up? It is your boy Empty, and I figured let's take a nice little visit or a revisit to an old video I made called My Favorite True Arts in the Game. And we're going to change that up quite a bit because as of recent, I ended up discovering some arts in the game that I really like the animation of, and I feel like they should get more love. And of course, some of these are older units that don't get any love nonetheless, and I figured why not put them out in the spotlight. Of course, you'll see some newer ones, some old ones, some familiar faces, but I figured why not give them the spotlight they deserve and do this top 10 for them. So let's just get right into it. Some of the best looking true arts in Grand Summoners. Coming in at the number 10 slot, we have none other than the main character, Rayas. Rayas ended up receiving a huge upgrade to what she was before. He was not awakened before all this, but you know, with all his normal arts kind of looking boring, he ended up getting X-Force, which ends up basically transforming him and changing out his look entirely. Not only in his looks, but as well as his attack, skill, arts, and true arts, making him very flashy. Now, he wouldn't be the main character of GS if he didn't have some sort of transformation sequence, and I'm glad that he got one. A lot of people were actually very happy when he got awakened, and it made him a solid unit overall. Mainly being able to clear a lot of hard stages, even main story quests. You can use them for a lot of things, even as your main attacker. And to be honest, I'm very happy he did get the awakening when he did, because otherwise I don't think there would have been much hope for him. But we got to make sure we put him at the number 10 slot, as he is the main character and he deserves all the love. Coming in at the number 9 slot, we got none other than, I'm cheating on this one because he was included before, but it's Kurama. I can't stress enough how well they did the animations for this, the attack, skill, even the arts. A reference as early as the first season of the anime, and of course the true art, episode 47. If you've seen it, you've seen it, but the Oigi plant, it is a crazy reference. The transformation looks very good in game, and I wish they brought this crossover back because, oh man, I'm only missing Yusuke from this crossover, but this is hands down the best animation from that crossover, and I really wish they would bring back the boy for the one time again. Yo, Yama P, if you're listening, bring it back. Bring it back. This is a solid crossover and it will get people hype again. Buff these units though. Buff them up. They really need the help, and they're a little outdated. Coming in at the number 8 slot, we have Earth Kane, regular Kane. This guy's animations are actually very fun to look at. His skill just ends up pulling out a Glock and he just does a little jump. His skill, he has a big hook and he ends up doing like a front kick and then takes out his gun. Very solid. It's just really fun to look at. Of course, his normal art is going to be him pulling out a giant laser cannon. Now I'm going to show you the true arts actually in game because you won't be able to see it in the compendium, but yeah, if you have his true weapon, this actually paralyzes, so solid right there. As for his true arts is kind of like, Forte references quite a bit. He ends up getting in a mech, but he calls a whole squad over, like a whole army, which is actually kind of cool. One of the better looking true arts, honestly, and they had a lot of love put into it. But yeah, that's number 8. Coming in at number 8, we have another boy who can transform. It is Groitz. Groitz has solid animations all around. His skill is pretty nice. His attack is pretty good. And his art, he ends up basically just doing a whole bunch of slashes on the screen, but he does a cool pose at the end. Now, similar to Emmy, he does have a transformation stage. So the Revelation just transforms him into a giant boss, which is actually pretty solid. A nice centipede-looking snake creature thing on its head and a giant stinger for its tail. Really good. Of course, he has morph skills, so once he goes into revelation mode, he does end up changing his skill entirely. Has 3 different ones, and I do believe that if you do his skill maybe a total of 5 times, he gets his mega arts. And of course, he ends up having to do his thing, basically. Get the stinger, comes down, stings you. I think this one drains art in the story, of course, in his mega skills, as well as his mega arts, which isn't really all that great, I believe. I think he just ends up doing the same thing over and over again, just a bunch of stings, but still solid all around because his design is actually pretty creepy and pretty cool. But yeah, that's number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have none other than Hatsune Miku. Very interesting animations all around for this unit. Very fun as well. Fun fact, she got me in trouble with YouTube because did you know her True Arts is an actual song and got my stuff copyrighted for that one video? Yeah, it was kind of funny. Yeah, but her True Arts is actually really fun to look at. If you go over to a giant boss, just do any of them. It just looks like they're at the giant like Hatsune Miku rave concert of a lifetime and they're just partying. But yeah, Hatsune Miku, she definitely deserves this slot at number 6. Coming in at the number 5 slot, we have none other than Feld. Feld surprised me a lot with her animations. Her attack is very solid, has a chain attack. Her skill actually ends up sending these 3 little orbs, which is kind of cool, and a 4th one afterwards. Her normal art, she turns into like a flame spirit and just dashes across the screen and then just comes back, which is very good. And her True Art is actually crazy. This is before Revelation. This is before Groitz. She is the OG. Ends up putting out a bunch of chains around the enemy and basically dashes forward. Just tremendous to look at, and she's very well deserving of the number 5 slot. Just look at how beautiful this looks. But yeah, that's number 5. If you've been a long time subscriber, you would know how hard I fucking simp for this character. But Summer Juno has really good animations, actually some of the most solid in the game, and I feel like she was deserving of the number 4 slot. Of course, she ends up riding the little diver, and her True Art, she ends up calling a party of these little sea creatures just coming around, and of course the pink dolphin comes back to say hi, and it ends. It's just honestly very fun to look at. I wish they did more experimentation like this, but I like this True Arts. It's really nice, and you really get you get more of a better picture in game. But yeah, very solid overall and well deserved. Number 3, and what more do I have to say? I made a whole video about this, man, on why the entirety of Grand Summoners is wrong, being the most overpowered unit in the game. And of course, he was going to make a nice appearance on this list because his animations are actually kind of fun to look at. Of course, his True Art, he ends up turning into Ragna, similar to like the early episodes of Slime if you've seen it. But these are just very fun to look at and very solid overall. Just build a whole team around them, make them your main DPS, you know, go wild. But yeah, Slime Rimuru deserves this slot, and he comes in at number 3. I have grown so much appreciation for this next unit, and it's Ashe. Ashe is so crazy good, not to be confused with Ashe Toto, but man, some of the cleanest animations in game, and a very old unit. And whenever they decide to super awaken him, I will be there. I will pull for him, as long as they keep the animation somehow consistent with what he already does and how they look. I'm all for it. But very solid and clean animations. Looks like my boy Ezio, and not much more I can say. I just love this man's animation. But yeah, he deserves number 2. But now moving on to the number 1 slot. This one surprised me because I just discovered this one yesterday. Oh my god, Soleil. Soleil has some of the cleanest looking arts in the game. Her animations for her skill and her attack are pretty alright. But her arts, bro, her arts. She ends up having a giant laser similar to Norn's, but it's on the opposite side, upwards. And her True Arts. She does a whole bombarding blast of like craziness that is so fun to look at. I don't understand why all the old units have like a bunch of cool based artwork when it comes to like their True Arts. Very solid. Just, oh my god, just very fun to look at. Like, look at this. You can't tell me this doesn't look fun. You cannot tell me that doesn't look fun at all. And of course, it looks like she's just flying around the screen at different angles too. It looks like at some point she comes very close to the screen and then she just ends up going back up and then just blasting off. Very solid, and she deserves number 1. And there you have it. Top 10 units with the best looking True Arts in the game. Let me know what you all think. Did I miss a unit? Or did you not happen to see a unit that was your favorite that should have been on this list? Let me know down below, and maybe next time we can add them on to an updated list. But yeah, let me know what you all think. Comment, like, sub, and maybe next time we'll do the top 10 Grand Summoners units with the best toes. Anyways, this has been EmptyShico. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.